So, Brandon, so much was expected of this offensive line at the start of the year. Have you guys lived up to those expectations, do you think?
I think we definitely improved every game. I think every game minus the Houston game, we played to our expectations. I think every week we kind of took it as another challenge because every team's looking at us like, oh, this is the game they're circling. A lot of teams are looking at our offensive line like, oh, they want to compete and show that they're NFL guys, so everybody's going to play their best game. So we kind of took that and prepared every single day. Every Tuesday, Wednesday are hard practice and practice really hard. So I guess that's kind of how we pride ourselves on working hard and being a hard-working offensive line.
What happened when you got injured, and were you scared that it was more serious than initially? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one play I was just going up to the linebacker and I got hit, and then I tried to put my weight back on my knee, and it just kind of just gave out on me. Yeah, I was definitely scared, but I'm thankful that it wasn't nothing like really serious, like season ending injuries. It's just I'm just glad I'm just in good health right now.
Race probably saved you, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You flopped around right side, left side, even played some center this week. So is it hard right, left? I mean, it's a different step, different stance.
I mean, I've been doing it for a little bit while now, so it's kind of getting easier for sure. But it's definitely it's kind of just the hardest part is just flipping the plays inside your head, like where you at before. But it's definitely easy. When you play center, you kind of know how to play left or right. You know what I mean? So it's not a big of a difference.
This team has put up a streak of what I think it's 12 straight games now, 140 yards.
Yeah.
With a lot of different guys up front. I mean, you guys have mixed and matched. I don't know if you played multiple games together intact. What's that say for the group to be able to produce the way you produced?
I think it definitely shows our depth and our chemistry. I think we got at least 4 or 5 guys that can play four of the positions of the offensive line. We got 3 guys that can play all 5. We're deep. Our front, like our 7 deep guys, could all play for sure. High Division I guys. So I think that just comes down to like our depth and that we all take this game very seriously and comes down to like practice Tuesdays and Wednesdays, working hard. Everybody works hard in the weight room. Everybody works hard in the film room. Everybody just knows their assignment. I think we just know how to do our jobs.
You said 4 can play all the positions?
At least 4 of us can play. Four. I think 3 people can play all 5.
Okay.
And then 4 could play about all 4 positions.
So Coach Moore talked about a lot in the offseason. His literal plan was to be able to make that the case by rotating a lot of guys and practices and things like that.
Yeah.
So where would you say the depth is in being able to play different positions is now to before that? Like, are there guys, even yourself included, that would not be able to do this if it wasn't for the offseason work? Or
with that, yeah. So like recently before, like it was more like the depth was the biggest problem.
how much
So,
did the offseason work?
yeah, so like how off season kind of worked out was like we all kind of like the way Coach Moore kind of works it out. It's like some years he'll have guys like completely working a completely different position. So like I was starting out, like I came in my freshman year, I was a left tackle. Sometimes he would move me to right guard, something completely different. But I would make my brain work and let me work harder and make me work on that stuff. So I'll be able to work on that type of thing and be able to kind of look at things kind of differently. And he always flipped guys off season just back and forth, just kind of get guys to think about it different and build that depth. So as years came on, we got more guys were able to do more and more and more. And now like we're in like year 5, so now guys are able to play 4 out of 5, and some guys are able to play 5 out of the 5.
To that, what you were saying about versatility, obviously the one position center, right? So the 3 that can play all 5, you, Zach, and who's the other one?
I would say Doug.
And Doug?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys made a big deal out of being picked 14th in the offseason. I've asked several players so far today about that. That chip on your shoulder,
Yeah.
how did you use that in the summer, and how's that carrying through?
I think as soon as we saw that as soon as they came live on the internet, we all kind of was like, oh wow, like they clearly don't respect us at all. Like we're returning a lot of production on offense and defense. We're getting a lot of guys good out of the portal. We have a great offensive line. Like it's no way that they could look at us and say we're a 14th team in this conference, and it doesn't make sense to me. And we all kind of was like, all right, cool. like, okay, they don't believe in us. I mean, we believe in us. It's kind of a thing. I mean, it's West Virginia. Like, no one believes in West Virginia, but only people that believe in West Virginia is people in West Virginia. And we know how much we had to work, and we know how this state prides itself on hard work, blue collar. Like, we're not looking. I'm an offensive lineman. We don't go out there looking for recognition. I don't go out there looking for pictures and videos and being number one in a conference poll. I don't care about number one conference poll. It all depends if who's going to be number one at the end of the season. And you know what I mean. I think we're proving everybody wrong. That, I mean, don't look at these news and these outlets. Look at that work and look at what we can put on the field. Like, I mean, you watch the film, turn the film on, you see who is 14 really.
You continue to use that even now?
For sure. That never changes. We're 14 until proven otherwise. That's never going to change. They're going to look at us as 14. Every team looks at us as 14. I think we just got to go out there and prove people that we're not.
How do you view this game coming up this weekend? I mean, here's an Oklahoma team that was 7-0 and was looking at the playoffs. They've lost 2 in a row, so they're either going to be upset that they lost those 2 games down, or they're going to be mad and want to come in. And of course, you guys beat them last year. So how do you approach it as a player going into that game?
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at Oklahoma. Like they had years of them being successful. This year they had some successful, and then the last couple of games. I think they're gonna for sure come and play their hardest. Like, they're a great team. Their defense is pretty good. Their offense is pretty good. Like, nothing's gonna change with them. They're gonna continue to play hard. The thing with us is we just gotta play harder. You know what I mean? We just gotta understand that. Like, they was projected number 1. We were projected 14. Like, that's a dynamic. It's all about who wants it more. You know. So yeah, it comes out really to that.
Shuffling on the offensive line, the one constant has been Zach in the middle. What's it been like as he's kind of been the leader of this group and playing with him?
With him being a leader, like, he's kind of like a heart offensive line. Like, he's kind of our leader, and he kind of talks, and we all talk about it, and we all kind of. I think we're all getting older from, you know what I mean. I've been with Zach since my freshman year, you know what I mean. So we all gotten older. We all kind of developed together. So we all kind of just bounce off each other. Have great chemistry in the room. Like, all of us can talk to all the young guys, to the oldest guys can talk. You know what I mean? It's just really just a good development from the top to the bottom. I think our chemistry is just really, really good. So I think we all bounce off each other, especially Zach can bounce off all of us as well.
Thoughts on that clip I saw posted of Zach, the CJ run in the end zone to the bowl end side, where he took his man and ran him all the way to the end zone and just body slammed him. You know which one I'm talking about?
You talking about this recent game?
The BYU game.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that was that one of those where y'all going, whoa?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we just watched it. It's just crazy that he drove his guy like almost drove into the band. Yeah, almost to the band. So it's always great to see that type of stuff.
How often does Coach Moore play those? Does he play the screw ups more than the body slams, or?
We always watch the negatives first. We always watch the negatives first, and then we get into the good stuff. But it's always the negatives first.
I'm sure yours in front of Nico made that role this week, didn't it?
Say again?
Well, I'm sure your block in front of Nico.
Oh,
on his run made
yeah,
that
for
play
sure.
this
Yeah.
week. What does that feel like? I mean, it doesn't matter who the opponent is or whatever when you just win a play so completely.
Yeah. I mean, with this game, our biggest thing was what Coach Brown was kind of talking about. Is just we were just kind of striving to play our best, and we just wanted to play our best. That's all we really wanted to do. Win, lose, or whatever the circumstances, we just wanted to play our best. That's what our team wants to do. We want to play hard. We want to play our best. We want to turn that film on and leave no doubt that who came out there and played the hardest and had the most effort, and had the most strain, the most discipline, and all that.
One other thing, you all, the past 2 or 3 weeks, have gone unbalanced, extra linemen, brought Nick in as an extra guy. That might change where you are. You're not at guard. You are maybe 2 guys in instead of 1, or even 3 when you go to that unbalanced line. Does that change your path, your approach, what you're doing, or are the plays kind of geared that, hey, it's still guard techniques or tackle techniques, whatever it is, no matter where you're lined up?
I think it really just I don't think nothing really changes. Is our techniques still going to be the same regardless of where I am? We're still going to have the same, like, double teams are still the same techniques. Everything's pretty much the same. Keep it very simple. Nothing changes. We just kind of just play it the same regardless of where you're at on the offensive line.
You get a reaction sometimes out of the defense when you come out and you've got that huge front, that huge surface, that they're like, whoa, man, there's a lot more gaps to cover here, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of big guys there.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of teams got to see that and notice that. Like, we got a lot more guys on the line. So, I mean, it doesn't really change anything. Just teams should try to play it. You know, but what it comes down to is if they can stop it. So, if they can't stop it, we're going to keep going to it.
You're right.
Yeah.
How do they determine that? How many times have you done that?
That was my second time. I did it TCU when we was away. How he determines it, that's Coach Mike type deal. I don't know how he picks it, but he's kind of just it's based on being the hammer instead of being the nail, being the aggressor instead of being the guy that's being taking it. You know what I mean? You want to be that. Those are the guys that probably had the most dominant week or been being the most dominant. Just you know what I mean?
Guy.
Yeah.
So do you married guys, there are a bunch of you now on that offensive line. Do
Yeah.
you guys hang out more together as a group with the wives? And what's it like being a married college student football player?
I mean, the wives hang out, so they kind of drag us where, you know what I mean? So even if we want to go home and sleep, they don't allow us. So, you know how that works. They kind of just pick us up and drag us. But they all hang out. They have their group chats, and they all coordinate their outfits and all that stuff like that. We kind of just like, we don't really care.
Or the guys that get married first, it seems. Field forever.
Oh, yeah. Them and wideouts and all the DBs. No. It really comes down to knowing what you have. You know what I mean? So you kind of just stick what you have. You know what I mean? You just know us big guys don't really get that many opportunities, so we got to keep what we get,
The other guys look at you. There's the old dudes, man. Their wives are going to go out and play bridge or cards or Trivial Pursuit, and we're all hanging out.
Yeah.
They view you that way?
Yeah, they definitely look at us as the old guys. But I kind of tell them, like, hey, man, you slow down sooner than later, you know what I mean? Your taxes look better, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Health insurance looks kind of good. Yeah, everything's kind of good join, bank account looks, bank account looks a little bit better, you know what I mean? So.